You're such an asshole.
We have an outstanding question. I think a lot of you might have a question about because you're looking at your friends doing the same thing. Like, wait a minute, I knew that guy. So, link below are 3 books that will address this in greater detail if you care to follow up on it. How Not to Become a Millennial, Enjoy the Decline, and Sanity is the Future of Wealth. I think Sanity is the Future of Wealth. It's the cheapest, the punchiest, the shortest, and the one that'd be most germane. But if you wanted more background as to what's going on, you can follow up with that. Anonymous writes, I'm from a place. Former friend of mine in high school, now 23, claims to have schizophrenia. He currently collects disability money and lives at home with his parents. He sits around at home all day and doesn't do jack. His act seems very convincing, and even his parents have been fooled into believing his illness is real. I highly suspect he is faking it all. Knowing this guy from high school, he always came up with some excuse to be lazy and not do any work. So here's a great here's a great observation. Have you noticed there's very few mental illnesses or mental problems where people work too much, where they're too responsible? Just a concept. But I always wondered, like, well, if it was a mental illness, why does everyone resort to laziness? Why is that? Why is it, oh, I just don't know how to work. I just do the easy, fun thing. I bet she's really good at video games. Huh? Bet she's really good at that. And so that's kind of my litmus test as to whether someone's BSing or a whole group of people are BSing or not. You get like a legit workaholic, like, no, I can't stop. Okay, I understand that. Kind of akin, Molyneux has always talked about parents or just people in general. Like, are they mentally ill? Or are they faking it just to be evil, to basically lord power over you? And he always says, if there's a cop in the room or some semblance of authority, someone who's authoritative, stronger guy or something, do they change their behavior? And when you see that they change their behavior in front of a cop, for lack of a better example, then they know, they're saying they're not mentally ill. And so those two kind of things to tell if someone's like BSing it or not, those are the kind of the two tests I'd use. Does he like wake up at 2 a.m. and start cleaning the house? Does he start wrenching on cars? Or is it always like, I need to live at home, I need money, I need to play video games and have fun? I always wondered that about, oh, you're mentally ill. How come it's always the easy way? Like, wouldn't half of you do the hard stuff because you're compelled? You're mentally ill? You're not in control of your faculties? Knowing this kid in high school always came up with some excuse to be lazy and not do any work. He dropped out of high school in the middle of grade 11, and his act has progressively evolved since then. His disability welfare check is $1,000 a month. Out of that, his parents charge him $500 for food and rent, leaving him with only $500 a month for him to spend. My question to you is, assuming he's faking it, all right, good assumption. What are your thoughts on him deluding himself into believing that he has an actual mental illness and acting the part just to get free disability money? Everything written below is my attempt to answer my own question. Feel free to skip if it's too much to read. Well, let's go through it all and I'll revisit your overarching question here. If it's too much to read or if we'll just jack up the price. My good sir, you wrote a cogent paragraph using request and you got to the point. I would not charge you more. I must admit that at first I was both envious and pissed off at him, as you rightly should be. I have to work for a living while he just gets to sit around and collect a free $1,000 a month from the government for doing nothing, just like your current leader. Not having to work for a living and collecting free money from a government is very tempting. Then I had the following epiphanies. One, the government spends trillions of dollars on BS. Compared to that, his free $1,000 a month welfare check is only a drop in the bucket. Yeah, but multiply it times 100 million people. Now you see we're up into the trillions. Look at any Western nation's federal budget and state if you want. Like 2/3 of it goes to basically pay people not to work for whatever varied excuse. Oh, I can't do the work. I'm disabled. I have a touch of the head to his. So that I would disagree with you wrong on that premise. Okay, yeah, $1,000 compared to the grand thing, but it's not the grand thing when 100 million people are doing it. 2, 1,000 really isn't a lot of money, especially considering his parents take half the rent. You're right. 3, he wakes up every day believing to himself that he's actually mentally ill, which is a mental illness in itself if he's faking it. and has to put on an act so that people believe him. Putting yourself through that kind of mental torture is not worth the money. Honestly, for all of the effort that he's putting into the act, let him keep the money. He deserves it. I'd rather have my sanity. It's the same thing as people who panhandle or are professional activists. They get paid $12 an hour. For the exact same amount of work, time, effort, and energy, you can make a lot more money. I've told this to leftists. If you stop bitching and whining about how little money you make and put that effort, half that effort, into learning an employable skill or just working a second job, you'd have your rent money. You'd have a higher wage. But kind of akin to where he's got to fake this the entire time and it results in a miserable life. Think about the people who like, well, I don't want to work. I'd rather panhandle or live in a tent. You try and tell them, like, that's harder than if you just got the job. But they're so afraid of work that they will suffer a way worse fate than work itself. Because they want all their time to themselves, which is understandable. But look, you got to work somehow. You got to earn your money. You got to earn a living. And so Atham's dad said it best: lazy people work twice as hard. In this guy's case, like 3, 4, 5 times as hard. Not to mention, I think you are right. Let's say he is acting it. Well, he's probably genuinely mentally ill now, having to fake and living a lie. So it's a life. It's a miserable life. Absolutely miserable. And this is where it's like, man, if I really wanted to hurt someone, I'd give an undeserving person who's lazy all the money in the world. Because you know what they're going to do with it? They would piss the money away, do drugs, and just make their lives even more. In other words, there's a group of people, your friend being one of them, assuming he's dishonest, that if you give them any money, the only outcome is perpetuating their misery and pain. And becoming the misanthrope that I am. I'm slowly coming around in a sadistic, not even wicked because they're evil people who are parasitic, a wicked, sadistic, misanthropic view that, man, the thing that screws up most people the most is unearned money. Whether you're a trust fund baby, you have all the money in the world, you're pissed off. You could be a welfare bum, you're pissed off. You're homeless, you're pissed off. It's like you got have some more free money. That'll keep you alive and that brain of yours still cognizant of your sucky life. Oh, you're on drugs? Here's some help. We're at church. We'll feed you and keep you alive more so you can continue enjoying the pain and misery. So you're right in that regard. He is suffering. That's got to be a whole new level of pain. A whole new level of pain keeping that up. For $1,000 a month, why can't he just work a normal part-time minimum wage job? He could. Surely that would be less effortful and less mentally strenuous than literally deluding yourself into believing you're mentally ill. You're right. Who cares? He has created his own hell. And his parents, what is his parents doing? Like all good boomer and Gen X parents, they're enabling him. Isn't it wonderful? Because they too are weak and cowardly and don't want to tell him to get a real job. As a side note, he is still better off financially than all the morons with BS degrees. I don't know. Is he? I mean, even if it is a BS degree, you had to show up regularly to get a degree. So there is pick on liberal arts majors and social science majors as I might. They did show up. They did show a modicum of adulthood and responsibility, or at least punctuality. Given he doesn't have any student loan debt or any form of debt. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying there. I can at least applaud him for that. Yeah, so let's go. Assuming he's faking it, what are your thoughts on him deluding into believing that he has an actual mental illness and acting the part just to get free disability money? All right, so we already talked about how it affects him. It's a tortured life. It's worse than being alive, frankly. I don't know what it's like. I do know what it's like. I was poor. It was cold. I was hungry. I dropped down to weight. I would not want to then have a drug problem or faking a mental illness on top of it to have that subsistence standard of living, that barely existing standard of living. Now, I worked hard. I got out of it. I suffered the pain, and I don't want to do this no more. And so I'm hopefully never going back, but not everything's under my control, is obvious. So I forgot where I was going with that. But he's in his own hell. He's in his own personal hell. As it pertains to one of practicality, like, hey, why don't I do this? Why don't we all do this? You're not wrong. And if you read in Enjoy the Decline, there's a chapter called Plunder, where, look, if the government's going to give you money or preferential treatment or whatever for having a touch of the ahud, real or not, there is a compelling argument to say, well, why don't you fake it until you make it? If they're going to give you money, hell, you could even probably, I need the drugs. And the doc will give you a prescription. You fill the prescription, sell the drugs. In other words, if you wanted to do this, let's say you were like some guy, normal gal, and you wanted a leg up in life. Like you come from the poverty, poor family. You don't have a huge opportunity cost. You could use some extra rent money. Like you're genuinely poor. Oh my goodness, Beauregard, I do believe I have come down with a case of the Asperger's. I am unable to find employment. Oh, give me a government bailout. Oh my goodness, Beauregard, fetch me my fainting couch. I have come down with a touch of the tisms. I need free Section 8 housing. All right, but here's the trick. Here's the hard part. I think his mistake was living at home, right? He's got to keep the act up all the time because his parents are there. And I don't know, I've never been to a welfare office or a give me that's because I have a case, a touch of the tism, or I'm depressed or whatever it is. But I imagine all you got to convince is a doctor or psychologist, right? Therapist, for them to sign off on it. They're only more than happy to sign off on it because they get, that's their job. They don't really care about mental health. Most of them are leftists themselves too. They can't wait to help the disadvantaged because that's what we're here for. Find a younger one. Don't find a curmudgeonly old Vietnam vet who's seen hell. Don't find an old curmudgeonly Vietnam vet. Absolutely. You want to find the girl who's 24, fresh from her doctorate. She's not going to help everybody. Yay! Sounds like Tickle Me Elmo. All right. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, yes, the depressions. Oh, so sad. Oh, I'm thinking about self-deletion. All right. Grow your beard out. Don't shower or shave for a while. Stink. It's not that hard. Read up on the symptoms. Don't come up with a story that could be verified. Just, don't leave the house. You don't shower. Parents forced me to go. Something, have your friend show up. Yeah, I'm forcing you to go. Oh, okay. Develop a drinking habit. Claim you did anyway. They sign off, always got the disability. And then depending on the state, federal, local programs, then you got a disability. And I don't know what that is in the United States. I don't know what SSI is. I think it's disability. I don't know what qualifies for that. So you got to look up what qualifies for disability. Schizophrenia, that's a pretty serious one, if not the most serious mental illness, I guess. That's no joke. Don't pick a hard mental illness that's hard to fake. That's a full-time act. Oh my God, purple trees. You're inside here, and I know the purple. Oh, nosy Beauregard, fetch me another government check. I have a touch of the attention deficit disorders. But I'm really good at video games. I'm really good at that. I can focus. That's my therapy. I'm really good at video games and drinking. I'm really good at that. So find out how it is, what qualifies. Get signed off by a doc. All right. So it isn't fake. They can't claim fraud. No, the doctor over there said I had a touch of the tisms. Now give me that. All right. But as far as, again, and you have to find out what the process is. I know you're going to have to talk to a therapist. They're going to have to sign off on it. Then I guess you go work for a social worker. You're going to you'll be a case. Someone will have your case and you go in and you plead your case. What are social workers? Women who just can't wait to give away other people's. Oh my God. Yes. You will. With the touch of the tism, I'll sign off on it all. You're so oppressed. Again, don't shower, don't shave. And I guess that's kind of where it is. Now, here's the difference, and here's where the morality and practicality comes in. And this is where I think you're wrestling with it. Is it immoral? Absolutely not. Did a bunch of dumb, dopey, short-sighted, goody two-shoes use other people's monies, leftists, vote this in? They did. Did you vote against it is the key thing. You did. Get as much freaking government money as possible. So I have no problem with Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, whatever. Did you vote against the money? You did. But society decided these are the rules of the game. You go get your money. It is no different than, oh, we're going to give women preferential hiring treatment. But some states are going to say like, oh, my goodness, Beauregard, I do believe I have a vagina now. Oh, I'm going to go and apply and get the M switched to an F on my driver's license. Or, as TFM points out, go do your passport and then take your passport and then the state has to honor it. Yeah. I mean, like, literally, if you went back in Cappy's world 25 years ago when I was in my younger or mid-20s, I would absolutely now change my ID to female. Oh, yeah, I'm total. Oh, man, do I love the dick. Just can't get enough of that big D. Big D, little d, medium D, whatever. Put an F on my driver's license. So when I fill out an application for scholarships, job applications, anything to do where I got to rely on the institutions and the structure of society to employ me, and since everyone's like, oh, vagina, we love vagina. You walk in, hey, I'm female. And they're like, but you're not, you don't look it. Don't judge me. And well, I'm transitioned. Oh, you're trans. Oh my God, super extra special gold stars from the governments. Can you? And then not joking. Then you'd be promoted. Go speak at the ESG forum. Look at us. Look, we hired a trans person here. Oh my God. I mean, literally, how many millions of dollars more would I have had? All right. So it's no different than that. All right, fine. Get the government money, get the government aid, get it all. All right. But and there's the moral thing. You didn't make the rules, and more importantly, you voted against it. But since those are the rules, oh, what I gotta do is have a touch of this. Oh, yeah, geez. Totally anxious around people. Yeah. Oh boy, I can't function. I can't do so. Isn't work social? Isn't that requiring me to go out in public? Oh, I can't do that. And see, here's this documentation from a 24-year-old moron fresh out of psych school saying that I got the disease. Yeah, I can't work. It's horrible. I'm just anxious being around you. You get the money, all right? But this is now where the practical part comes in. All right? You got to not be living with your family or anything like that. You also can't tell anyone this. All right. Now, the social worker there might be an investigator. So, just be in. If you're going to go out and party, don't go out and party in your local town. You say, what are you doing out partying? I'm trying to fix myself. Why do you hate me? Ah. Whatever it is, collect that money, save up, so use it to go to school. And that's where the practical part comes in. You're going to use it as a temporary lift. Save it. Save the money. Save it as cash. Buy some silver. Something to help your family. Look, some of us conservative, Republican, libertarian, non-parasites need our money back. We're just getting our money back. Don't worry. You play this cards right, you're going to pay a lot more in taxes than what little modicum they're going to give you here. So you take that money and you use it to your advantage to help you get a career, stabilize your finances or whatever. All right. I think this would be a brilliant idea for people going to college, for white men going to college especially. Oh, my goodness. Why? And I'm sure this guy's a white guy too, right? I don't know. Maybe not, but I'm just going to guess. Because everyone else has their own, I'm this race or I'm that gender or whatever. So they got that. But white guys got mental illness. All right. Use it to get through your tough times, which is your teens and your 20s. Maybe you're down and out in your 30s. You just get laid off. All right. Whatever. You're not going to want to rely on it forever, but use it to your advantage. And then all of a sudden, get a master's degree. Get this, get that. All right. So you're not like me dropping down to 118 pounds. your freshman year in college. You're not starving. You're not homeless. You can afford heat. Get a good degree. Go ahead, maybe save up a little bit of money. I think the federal government owes you your 200 ounces of silver. And then oh my God, a miracle. I'm cured. That's a joke. No one's going to know that comedy skit. Little angel came in and said, Pwang, go out and play. And, make it look real. Talk to your therapist. Oh, yeah, well, I started running. You did? Oh, my God. That's great. Yeah, I took ballroom dance class. Oh, my God, you did. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think I need the drugs. Maybe we cut down on that. Stop selling your drugs to your friends. But then you should be in a better position. And so that is the practical aspect. They're giving away the free money. You voted against it. Take it. Get some of yours. Go ahead. Use it to show up your position, but also invest it in predominantly a career. That's what I'm going to assume most of the young people are. You're trying to get stabilized. You're trying to get. And then once you got stable, once you got a job, oh my God, I got a job. I went to an interview. Oh my God, Dr. Ditz. Dr. Ditz, Dr. Bambi McDitz. I got a job. Oh my God. I remember you were my first client when I was 23 and a half years old. And I'm 24 and 3/4. You've made such progress. I'm a great therapist. You sure are, Dr. Ditz. Yep, I don't think I need that anymore. I'm just going to take my fully bought and paid for degree in software engineering and my new $150,000 a year job remotely and living on beach in Thailand. Thanks, Doc. See you. Bye. You're the best. I have a picture of you up there. You cured him. You cured me. But that's how I would do it. Absolutely. Look, these Democrats and leftists are going to keep voting in all this free money and not have any standards, none whatsoever. It's not the parasites that should be able to get it. We producers should be able to get it. It should subsidize our production. I'd love to see a Democrat argue, oh, that's unethical. That's like, hey, we're trying to get jobs to pay the taxes in the future so that your literal parasites, your constituents, can continue living off of our work. So shut up and give us the edge. All right? Just let us have our little touch of the tism here, all right? Let us have our bipolar disorder. And then we're magically cured, and then we're on our way. So there you go. But you cannot fake it in your real life because that will drive you nuts. That will drive you insane. So you probably want to live on your own. Maybe have some roommates. Just kind of be careful. Don't show that you're super happy, or I don't know. It depends on the disease you got. Some that's believable, but shoot, in the sea of Zoomers where everyone's, what is it? What percentage of people are on drugs now? Like I know a quarter of women, total women, not even the younger ones, women, a quarter of them are on some form of psychotropic drug. I'm sure it's not going to, you'll blend in. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm a 21-year-old and I'm sad and depressed. Oh, he's faking it, unlike the other 1.5 billion Westerners. So there you go. There you go. But yes, you should use it to improve your life to the point where you're like, this isn't worth my time anymore, even talking to the therapist. Because I don't think you're going to get that much. I'm okay, $1,000 a month. I don't know what it is in different states. Let's say you're collecting $2,000 a month max. It's 24 grand. You're going to find a job if you put your efforts towards a real degree or the trades or somewhere, even the military. There's that. Now, just so you know, schizophrenia, that's going to show up somewhere on a report. So you want something that isn't going to deny you employment in the future. You see what I'm saying? So and there's probably even websites out there on how to do it. So go ahead, research this a little bit more thoroughly than just the mere ideas or kind of the general green light I've given you. But, double check and make sure, wait, if I got this this prescription, is that going to prevent me from any kind of employment? That would be the number one thing I would do before you choose your, the designer mental illnesses. Oh, I have this disease. Look, I have it. I'm so proud. And I got my Versace bag and I have my bipolar disorder. Look how. All right. Any super chats? Cappy gonna go to dinner. Dung is fun. $2. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you very much, love. She's a nice girl from St. Paul. Dung is fun. $2. Is being lazy a mental illness? No, being lazy is default human nature. That's just your default setting because you want to save calories of energy so you don't starve. The problem of which has only been solved in the past 100 years. So your old school hardwiring is to be lazy. That's for survival purposes. Is that it? Is that it? Yeah, all the comments, people that comb my hair, I look nice. Yeah. All right, that's it. Okay. See you guys later, Toodles.